Morning, YouTube. Wanted to make a quick video about getting started on nutrition, what I did, and possibly what you can do. Um, One of the first things I did, um, I was my former employer. I was still working for at the time. I did what most people do, and it was on the way to work. I would stop and grab junk to eat, and that's what I would eat at work. Um, Sometimes I'd bring some stuff from home, whatever it was, but it was never consistently good food. Um, but how I started is I said to myself, well, okay, since I like to stop on the way to work and grab food to eat, I'll just grab better food. So, I'd stop somewhere, I'd grab, a salad or, with eggs and fresh fruit, stuff like that. And I did that for a while and I had some success with it, but, it's just as expensive as buying junk food, too, really. Um, and it got to a point to where I was like, okay, I need to start, buying my own food and cooking. And uh, I didn't want to meal prep. I had no desire to spend a whole afternoon on a weekend cooking all my food for the week. So I decided that I was going to get up like an extra hour early to make all my food for the day. And that worked out pretty well for me. Now, um, depending on your lifestyle, your daily schedule, you have to figure out what works for you. I mean, really think about in your head, um, how it's going to work out. Meal prepping during a day and the weekend or something like that could work out better for you. But I just did what works best for me, and that's going to be something I say a lot throughout these videos is you have to figure out what works best for you. And do stuff that you enjoy for exercises and all that jazz. But once I started cooking my own food and figuring out a few things, I watched a couple guys. I'm going to reference a few guys that are good to watch on the YouTube fitness community. One is Greg Doucette. I listened to a lot of his advice about losing weight, and he has a master's in kinesiology, so he knows his shit. He touches on a lot of bodybuilding stuff because he is a former IFBB pro. So he's gone through using steroids and stuff like that, but he's honest and forthcoming about it. But has a lot of good advice. Another one is Jeffrey Verity Schofield. He does natural bodybuilding. He does not do steroids. The dude is jacked out of his mind, but he has a lot of good information. But anyhow, how I started is there was a channel I was watching, Derek from More Plates, More Dates, and he put down in the description of one of his videos a online calorie calculator, because the way you lose weight is calories in, calories out. You have to expend more energy than what you're taking in. And your calorie intake, your maintenance calorie intake, is going to be dependent on quite a few different things. One is going to be your activity level, your age, sex, whether you're male or female, and height, weight. It all comes into play, and it gives you all those options. You plug it in, and it's not going to be 100% accurate, but it's going to be pretty close. And I did count calories for a while. A lot of those numbers are still in my head, like I knew exactly how many calories I was, almost to a T, what I was taking in every day. um, Now, at first, when I first started, I tried intermittent fasting. Um, and it was kind of easy to go into because I went through a breakup at the time. So, I mean, I did not starve myself, but um, it was a rough time. So, it was, I was doing like a eating window of 8 hours and not eating for 16. So, I'd get up, I'd work out. I was on second shift at the time. Eat at like 1 o'clock, go to work, eat a couple more times until 9 o'clock, and then I would not eat again until 1 o'clock in the afternoon the next day, and that worked. But all these different things, all these different fads, whether it's intermittent fasting, whether it's carnivore, keto, um, all these different diets, they all have one thing in common, and that is calories in, calories out. So you are in a caloric deficit. So if your maintenance, like mine, I want to say, I'm just guessing, is about maybe 2,500 to maintain. If I'm eating 2,000 or 2,100 or 2,200 or whatever it is, I will be losing weight. Um, it's one of the kind of cool things about going through a long-term weight loss transformation is you figure out a lot of stuff about your body that you never knew. And that was one of them. So I did the calorie calculator, and I just started from there, and another myth I would like to bust is about weight loss or whatever. People say this all the time when we get into conversations about this. They say, "Oh, eating healthy is so expensive." No, it's not. It's uh, if anything, my grocery bill went down. I mean, now with the inflationary environment that we live in, obviously everyone's grocery bill's gone up. But at that time, I was spending less money because I wasn't going out to eat so much. I wasn't buying junk on the way to work. Now I started out eating a ton of protein, probably too much protein. I don't know if there's such thing as too much protein, but uh, at the beginning I was probably eating close to 2 pounds of protein a day. I kind of stuck with the basics. I liked burgers and sandwiches and stuff like that, so a lot of the times I would just make 4 big ass patties, whether it was turkey burger, uh, ground chicken, lean beef. I did a lot of eggs, and I would a lot of times just no bread or whatever. Throw a slice of cheese. I season it really well. Picked a lot of seasonings. I like important. Get seasonings, white people. It's use seasonings, please. Like, you want to eat bland pieces of meat every single day. But yeah, that's how I got started, and it just works for me. I still continue to do it to this day. I like to make everything into a burger, so that's what I did, and it worked for me. So once again, figure out what works for you. But yeah, that's how I kind of got started, and if you have to also figure out certain foods that you enjoy that are going to help you lose weight. That's also another thing that's super helpful. There is a reason that medical professionals say eat more fruits and vegetables. You can eat, especially certain fruits and vegetables, you can eat almost as much of those as you want, and you will not gain weight. It is almost impossible. You know, like when I'm on a cut, which I'm getting ready to start one right now. I was down at 205 last year. I'm probably like 225 right now. I I ate a lot of cucumbers and a lot of watermelon because, especially cucumbers, if I think a whole cucumber is like, I don't know, some super low. It's like 20, 30 calories or something like that. And by the time your body is done digesting a whole cucumber, it's net zero calories. So you can basically almost eat as much as those as you want, fill your stomach up or whatever. Same thing with watermelon. Watermelon's like 90% water or some shit like that. And yeah, so like when you're really trying to diet down, there are things you can do to stave off hunger, stuff like that. And something else I kind of wanted to add on to that is I've talked to people who are like, oh, gross, I can't eat that. I'm like, then you're not ready. Okay, you are not willing to do whatever it's going to take to change your life. I looked at food mentally. I looked at it as fuel. Okay, fuel for what I wanted to accomplish. And yes, still every once in a while I would, like maybe once a week during this process, I would, go out and eat junk. I'd have, pizza or whatever it was. But you have to learn moderation. And I think part of that with people saying, ew, gross, I can't eat fruits and vegetables, they taste gross and stuff like that. I think it's because they've eaten like shit for so long that their palate changes. And they're just like, and it's, most of it's mental. Like, oh, I can't do that. I'm like, well, then you're really not that serious about it. Okay, it's like, fine. Then don't change. Keep going down the road you're going if and you're not happy with where you're going. Me, I was going to do whatever it was going to take because I knew I could do it, and you know, um, I was sick of where I was at. And yeah, it's, I mean, to me, basically, it's almost like the mentality of a child, and I'm not trying to bash people because I mean, I was there at one point too, but it's ew, gross, I can't eat that, I mean, that's kind of childish. You have to get yourself out of that mindset, and you gotta eat like an adult. We're adults. We have to. If you really want to look after your health and live a healthier lifestyle and be happier, you have to eat better. Um, but yeah, the counting calories thing, I really don't have to do it anymore. I'm so much better in tuned with my body that I can kind of intuitive eat, and I know when I'm in a caloric deficit. Um, the biggest factor of knowing that after you've gone on a while and you're in tune with your body and you've lost all the weight you wanted to lose, basically is you taste that little bit of hunger. You're not starving. You're not just overly hungry or whatever. Like a lot of times I would get done with my long walk, and I would feel myself slipping into a caloric deficit. I could feel it in my body and in my stomach. And if I was a little hungry afterwards or whatever, I'd smash a diet pop and then snack on some fruit or vegetables or whatever, and that would satiate me for the rest of the night. And I kept losing weight that way. But yeah, any questions about nutrition, getting started, anything like that? Yeah, go ahead and comment in the comment section. Yeah, well, have a great day. Thank you.